Winners decide fast and never look back, huh? Your life ain't shaped by luck. Nah. Not by talent. Not even by getting a chance, you know? It's shaped by decision. One little decision can totally change your whole destiny. One moment of guts can be worth way more than years of just putting things off. One bold move can save you from a lifetime of what-ifs. Most people don't mess up 'cause they're dumb. Nah, they heels, they hesitate. They overthink everything, eh? They wait for total certainty in a world that's like. Now. Oh, they just sit there on the edge of being awesome, staring at it, asking questions, doubting until the moment just sails right past them. And while they're still chewing it over, someone else already went for it. Oh, winners aren't some different stretch. They don't have some secret DNA that makes them unstoppable. What they've got is way stronger, where actually they can just decide. Fast and go, without even looking behind them. They get this thing that most people just never figure out. Being indecisive is the quiet dream killer. Every time you put off a choice, you're training your brain to second guess itself. Every time you stall, you're basically making fear stronger. Every time you say, I'll do it later, you're building a habit of doing nothing. And habits, they shape what you become. Look at history. The dudes who changed the world weren't the ones waiting for a go-ahead. They were the ones who moved with total conviction. When Thomas Edison messed up like 1,000 times, he didn't stop and ask if he should keep going. He decided over and over that success was going to happen no matter what, and that decision turned the lights on. When Henry Ford had this vision of regular folks being able to afford cars, people laughed. Experts were like, no way, critics blasted him. But Ford didn't flinch. He didn't back down. He decided. And that decision built a whole empire. When Walt Disney was told he had no imagination, when he got rejected again and again, he didn't slow down. He didn't question his vision. He decided to trust something nobody else could even see. And because of that, the whole world had to see it. See, that's the power of deciding. It ain't about being right every single time. It is about being all in every single time. 'Cause winners know a truth. Most people are too scared to face. Making a wrong move is way, way better than making no move at all. A bad decision teaches you stuff. It sharpens you up. It pushes you forward, but no decision. That just leaves you stuck, frozen, watching life happen somewhere else. You weren't made to just stand there, you know. You were built to move, to act, to build up speed. Momentum is everything. Once you start moving, things start making sense. Once you actually try to do something, the fear starts backing off. Once you commit, the way forward starts showing itself, but you're never going to see the path if you refuse to take that first step. This is where most people lose out. They want guarantees. They want everything nailed down. They want to know exactly how it'll all work out before they even try. But life ain't like that, man. Success doesn't come with a roadmap. It comes with a mindset. A mindset that says, I'll figure it out. A mindset that says, no matter what happens, I am not quitting. A mindset that says, on side to side, I am 100% in. 'Cause deciding ain't just one moment. It is a promise. It's drawing a line in the sand where you tell yourself, there is no turning back from here. And the second you hit that level of commitment, something totally flips inside you. Doubt loses its power. Fear loses its voice. Distractions lose their grip. You stop arguing with your excuses. You stop giving energy to your weak spots. You stop looking for the easy exit. And you start turning into somebody else. Someone serious. Someone focused. Someone unstoppable. But get this straight. Deciding fast doesn't mean being dumb about it. It means trusting yourself hard. It means having your goals so clear that pausing becomes pointless. It means you know who you are. You know what you want. And you're not letting anything stop you. Clarity is power, and clarity comes from having a vision. If you don't have a crystal clear picture of where you are headed, you are always going to hesitate. You are always going to doubt. You are always going to second guess yourself, because you're trying to make choices without a direction. But when your vision is solid, when your purpose is clear, decisions get easy because everything gets checked against one question. Does this move me closer to who I want to become? If the answer is yes, you move. If the answer is no, you ditch it. No hesitation, no confusion, no delay. Whoops, that is how winners roll. They don't waste time on stuff that doesn't match their vision. They don't get distracted by quick fun stuff. They don't get stuck endlessly analyzing. They decide. And once they decide, they go all in with everything they've got. This level of commitment is rare, though, because it takes discipline. It takes giving stuff up. It takes being willing to ditch comfort, to walk away from being average, to step into the unknown. And most people aren't down for that. Ugh. Most people would rather stay cozy than be great. They'd rather stay safe than risk it. They'd rather live with regret than face the what if. But you ain't most people. There's something in you that knows you can do better. Something that refuses to settle. Something that keeps pushing you, even when it hurts, even when it's tough, even when it feels impossible. That voice, that is your potential. And it's waiting for just one thing, a decision. A decision to stop playing small. A decision to stop thinking you suck. A decision to stop waiting and start moving. Because honestly, your future isn't just waiting around for you. It's being built by the choices you make today, right now. In this second, you are either moving toward the life you want or further away from it. There is no middle ground. Every action, every thought, every choice is making your reality what it is. So the question ain't if you'll make it. The question is, what are you deciding right this minute? Because winners don't wait. Winners don't pause. Winners don't look back. They decide. And they move, and they build, and they climb over and over again. And as they keep moving forward, something wild happens. They turn into the kind of person who doesn't even stress about decisions anymore. They trust themselves. They lean on themselves. They lead themselves. And that is the ultimate power. Not being able to control the world, but controlling how you react to it. Not guessing the future, but making it happen. One decision at a time. Oh, so decide. Decide you are done living in doubt. Decide you are done questioning if you are good enough. Decide you are done waiting for someone else to give you the okay. Decide you are stepping into your power. And once you do that, do not look back. Not at the dumb stuff you did wrong, not at your old habits, not at what other people think. 'Cause looking back just slows you down. And you weren't meant to move slow. You were meant to move with purpose. Fast, with knowing where you are going. Like a force that can't be stopped. Like a mind that can't be crushed. Like a winner who has already made up their mind. And once a winner decides, the world just has to move over. Okay, so like the second a winner decides on stuff, something deeper kicks in, you know? It ain't just action anymore. It is who you hew, or that identity. Men, 'cause the second you make a real call, not some weak sauce wish, not some 2-day motivation thing, but a vital decision. You stop being the person who just died in hopes. And you turn into the person who actually fidos stuff and doing stuff. That changes 3 things. Most people live their whole lives in this almost zone, almost starting, almost committing, almost becoming who they were supposed to be. But almost never builds squat, right? Almost never makes you rich. Almost never changes your life. Almost never makes history. Nah, they don't hang out in almost. They live in hooty now. They get that putting things off is expensive. And I don't just mean money. I mean emotionally, mentally, spiritually too. Every day you drag your feet. You are paying with your confidence. You are paying with your momentum. You are paying with your future. Seriously. And that price tag just keeps going up. That is why speed matters. Speed isn't about just blindly rushing, you know. It's about cutting out the hesitation. It's about trusting that you prepped right. It's about just acting with confidence before doubt even has time to plant its feet. Because doubt, it's like a shadow. The longer you stand still, the bigger it gets. But when you actually stacks, here's the weird part about growth. Though you don't feel ready until you move. You don't feel confident until you act. You don't feel sure of yourself until you commit. So if you are waiting around to feel ready, you'll be waiting forever. Look at Abraham Lincoln. Defeat after defeat. Failure after failure. Loss after loss. Most people would have dipped out way before anyone even knew their name. He didn't wait to feel confident. He decided. He decided to keep going when it sucked. He decided to stand up when it was humiliating. He decided to lead when nobody knew what was next. And that decision, it didn't just change Fighty's life. It changed the whole nation. Oh, that's the power you're sitting on right now. Not your skills. Not where you came from. Not your situation. Your decisions. But here's where it gets even more real. Every decision costs something. When you decide to level up, you're also deciding to leave something behind. When you decide to win, you're also deciding to ditch comfort. When you decide to rise, you're also deciding to fight resistance. There's no decision without a price tag. And that's why most people freeze up. They ain't scared of success. They're scared of what success is going to demand from them. Like discipline, consistency, being alone sometimes, being super focused all the time. They're scared of turning into someone who just tino for average anymore. Kaya's average is easy, right? Average doesn't ask for much. Average doesn't push you. Average lets you sleep in, make excuses, put off your dreams, and still feel fine about it. But greatness wants friend, signed everything. And winners, nah, they don't try to run from the cost. They jump on it. Because they know this one powerful thing. The pain of being disciplined only lasts a little while, but the pain of regret, that sticks around forever. Permanent man. And regret, it is heavy. It hangs out with you at night. It whispers stuff in your head. It reminds you who you psychoolly have been. If only you'd made that call sooner. Only I started. If only I took the chance. If only I actually believed in myself. But winners don't live in. They live in I did. I take the risk. I make the move. I did show up when it was hard. And those little consistent decisions, they stack up, compounding interest for your life. Basically day by day, action by action, choice by choice, until one day your life looks totally different. But it didn't happen in one flash. It happened because you stopped going and actually started deciding. This is where discipline slides in. Decision gives you the map, but discipline gives you the engine. 'Cause it's easy to decide, Vrihonsa. It's easy to feel pumped for one day. But can you decide fadai the every single day? Can you wake up and pick growth when your body just wants to chill? Can you pick focus when your brain is screaming for distractions? Can you pick action when fear is yelling at you to stop? That's what separates the winners. They don't run on motivation. They run on standards. They set a level for themselves, and they refuse to drop below it. No matter how they feel, no matter how rough it gets, no matter how long it takes. 'Cause feelings are temporary, but standards are forever. And when your standards are high, your decisions get automatic. You don't argue about working. You just work. You don't question improving. You just improve. You don't wonder if you should keep going. You just keep going. That's self-mastery. And self-mastery is the base layer for all success. Because if you can't manage your actions, you can't manage your future. If you can't manage your habits, you can't manage your results. Everything kicks off inside. Your thoughts, what you believe. That voice in your head. Because before you ever do anything, you've already made a decision in your mind. A decision about who you are. I'm not ready. I'm not good enough. I'll try later. Those are decisions. See? Weak decisions. And they make weak results, When you flip that internal speaker, everything changes. I will figure it out. I will get better. I will not quit. Those are strong decisions. And strong decisions make strong lives. Get this straight, yeah? You don't suddenly hit the level of your goals. You drop down to the level of your 40 decisions. So if your life isn't where you want it, don't blame your setup. Look at your decisions. Look at what you've been letting slide. Look at what you've been dodging. Look at where you've been hesitating, because that's where your power is. Waiting right there. In the decisions you're too scared to make. But the second you face them, the second you decide, the second you commit, things start moving. Your energy shifts. Your focus tightens up. Your confidence grows. Not because life suddenly became smooth, but because Shurya got stronger, and strength, that comes from action, from doing it over and over, from sticking with it, from showing up every single time, even when nobody's watching. That's where resilience is made. Not when things are comfy, but in the fight, not when it's easy, but when you hit resistance every time you power through something tough. You're basically stamping your ID card to someone who doesn't bail. And identity. That's everything, because once you start seeing yourself as a winner, your actions start matching that picture. You stop putting up with being weak. You stop accepting dumb excuses. You stop settling for second best. You become relentless. And that relentlessness, that refusal to look back, that totally locked-in commitment to move forward, that's what makes you impossible to stop. So keep moving, keep deciding, keep building, because every little step you take, every choice you make, every second you refuse to give up, you're becoming someone the world can't ignore, someone who doesn't wait, someone who doesn't pause, someone who doesn't look behind, a winner, and winners, they decide fast, and they never look back. And as you keep going, something happens that most folks never get to see. You start to actually trust yourself. Not like fine loudly and all arrogant, more like a quiet, I got this, feeling that won't shake. A deep down knowing that no matter what goes down, you'll figure it out, because you've already shown yourself. Again and again and again. Every time you made a tough call, every time you pushed ahead even when fear was screaming at you to stop, every time you just refused to quit when stuff went sideways, you were building something you couldn't see. But man, it was strong. Self-trust, and self-trust, that is worth way more than anyone ever saying, good job. Because when you trust yourself, you stop needing people to pat you on the back. You stop waiting for everyone else to nod along. You stop asking permission to just shoot bye-bye who you already know you can be. You become your own boss. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and fudded independence, that freedom, that is where the real power hangs out. Most people, though, they let opinions run the show. What'll they think? What if I mess up in front of everyone? What if they judge me? Those questions, they keep people small. They keep them stuck. They keep them living a life that isn't even really theirs, But winners aren't chasing what people think. They're chasing what matters to Thubai, purpose. And purpose, man, it shouts louder than fear. Purpose is tougher than doubt. Purpose is what yanks you forward when every part of you wants to bail. But purpose doesn't just pop up out of nowhere. You gotta find it by doing stuff, by moving, by poking around, by deciding, then tweaking, then deciding again. Clarity isn't something you sit around waiting for. Clarity is something you make high. Every move you make sharpens where you are headed. Every action shows you what is working and what is just, not working, and slow, wowly, bit by bit. Your way gets clearer. But only if you keep moving, because staying put makes things foggy. Thinking too much brings on doubt. Doing nothing, that breeds fear. But action brings answers, and answers bring confidence. That is why winners don't just chill trying to find the perfect road. They build it, step by step, decision by decision, failure by failure. Yes, failure. See, failure isn't the opposite of winning. It's side part to it of it. Every single famous person you look up to, every name history remembers, they all bombed, big time, relentlessly. Edison failed 1,000 times, probably. Ford went broke. Disney got told no over and over. But here is the kicker that set them apart. They didn't see failure as a stop sign. They saw it as info, as a chance to tweak things, as growth, as just needing to take the next step. And because they made that choice, to keep trucking, not look back, not let the screw-up define them, they eventually became unstoppable. This is the headspace you gotta get into. Not some flimsy mindset that snaps under pressure, but one that gets tougher because of it. A mindset that goes. No matter what happens, I keep going. No matter how many times I wipe out, I get up. No matter how long it takes, I am not tapping out, because quitting is the only real loss. Everything else, just part of the grind, but just being tough isn't enough. You gotta pair it with focus. Because today, distraction is wind everywhere. Non-stop noise, endless opinions. So many things pulling you every which way. And if you are not careful, you'll spend your whole life busy, but not actually getting anything done. Active, but not effective, moving, but going nowhere. Winners get this. They guard their focus like their life depends on it, like it kinda does. They know energy goes where your eyes are pointed. So they choose carefully. They cut out the noise. They ignore stuff that doesn't match their goal. They protect their time, their brain, their vision. Because they aren't here to be middle of the road. They're here to build something real, something strong, something that shows off the best version of themselves. And that takes some sacrifice. It means saying no. No to distraction. No to being comfy. No to anything that pulls you away from your point. Because every yes to something small is a no to your potential. And potential, that is not something you want to let go to waste. Once time passes, poof, it is gone. Every day is a chance to choose, to act, to level up, to become. But most people let that chance float away. They wake up without a plan. They move without purpose. They end the day with zero progress, and then they scratch their heads wondering why their life is stuck. But you are not here to just float. You are here to design, to grab the wheel, to own it, to take the heat for everything that happens in your life. Because the second you own your stuff, you get your power back. No more blaming, no more excuses, no more waiting around, just action, relentless, steady, focused action. And as you keep walking this road, something crazy happens. Your standards go up. What used to feel tough becomes normal. What felt impossible, now you can reach it. What used to freak you out doesn't faze you anymore, because you've changed, you've grown. You are someone new. And that new you, they don't pause, they don't doubt, they don't look behind, because they get something most people miss. Your past isn't where you live. It is just a place you visited for reference. You don't hang out there. You don't stay stuck there. You don't let it define you. You learn from it, and you keep moving always forward, because forward is where you grow. Forward is where the good stuff is. Forward is where your future is waiting. And the faster you decide to head that way, the faster your life starts flipping around. So stop digging up old mistakes. Stop replaying old face plants. Stop second-guessing choices that are already history. They're done. They're finished. They don't control you anymore. What controls you is what you decide. Let know. Right here, right this second. 'Cause this moment, this is where your power is. Not yesterday, not tomorrow. Now. And what you do with this moment, that sets up everything else. So make it count. Decide like you mean it. Act fast. Move with a plan and never ever look back. 'Cause winners don't second guess their path. They don't brood over what ifs. They don't waste time regretting stuff. They live in action. They live in growth. They live in that relentless push forward. And that is why they win. Not 'cause they're perfect, but 'cause they're committed. Committed to the vision. Committed to getting better. Committed to becoming the best them they can be, no matter what it costs. So keep going, even when it sucks, even when you're not sure, even when nobody else thinks you can do it, 'cause belief starts with fooling you. And once you believe, once you decide, once you commit, there's nothing left to stop you. Only one place left to go, forward, like a freight train that can't be stopped, like a brain that won't get rattled, like a spirit that refuses to settle. This is who you are becoming. This is who you are supposed to be, a winner. And winners, they decide quick, they act like they know. They climb up through the crap and they never look back. And when you hit this level, like when your brain ain't stuck in the should I or shouldn't I phase anymore, when what you decide actually means something, when what you should do actually shows what you meant to do, that is when you start running on a whole different vibe, A vibe where excuses just can't hang around, because excuses, they need that hesitation to even exist. They need you to second guess. They need you to put things off. They need that tiny little gap where you think, maybe not, just long enough to bail. But, whoops, you slammed that door shut. You made a call that your life ain't going to be run by feelings that change every 5 minutes. 'Cause, man, feelings are shaky. They go up. They go down. They flip depending on what is happening. Some days you feel like a beast. Some days you are just wiped. Some days you feel like you can take on the world. Some days you want to just quit. But like winners don't sit down and negotiate with their feelings. No, they run on commitment. And commitment doesn't just change because you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. It doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't wait for you to suddenly feel motivated. It doesn't need someone else to pat you on the back. Commitment is like a contract you sign within yourself. And once that pen hits the paper, there is no unsubscribe button. That is when the real glow-up starts. 'Cause now, you ain't just bouncing off what life throws at you. You are steering the whole damn ship. You wake up knowing what is up. You move with crystal clarity. You act with a point. Every choice is super intentional. Every move lines up right. Every second is a chance to prove self-right you are becoming. And doing that over and over, that daily reinforcement, that builds something you seriously can't stop. Identity. Not the one your past handed you, not the one your surroundings molded, but the one you picked out, 'cause you made the call. You decided you are disciplined. You decided you are locked in. You decided you are going to keep pushing, no matter what. And once you decide who you are, how you act follows suit. 'Cause who you think you are, so do make, so you act. If you see yourself as weak, you are going to act weak. If you think you are just average, you'll settle for whatever's mid. But if you see yourself as a winner, someone who doesn't tap out, someone who just without that talk wars, that your actions are going to match that picture in your head. And matching up like that, that is where the real power comes from. This is why how you see yourself is matitan, not what Brenda from accounting thinks, but what you truly buy into about yourself. 'Cause your beliefs set your ceiling. If you believe you can do big things, you are going to push past comfy. If you believe you are meant for more, you ain't going to settle for enough. If you believe success is locked in, you'll keep going even when the map disappears. And that belief, oh man, that ain't something you just wait around for. That is something you got to build through doing stuff, through keeping it consistent, through keeping the promises you make to yourself. Every time you say you'll do something and then you sati, your belief gets stronger. Every time you show up when it sucks, your confidence levels up. Every time you push past the resistance, your identity sets like concrete. You just stop asking yourself. You stop second-guessing your skills. You stop freezing up when an opportunity knocks. You just step forward automatically, because that is just who you are. Now, and at level, something totally. In how the world batoos back at you. Shit starts popping up. People start noticing. Doors start swinging open. Not 'cause of luck, but 'cause everything's aligned. 'Cause when your thoughts, your decisions, and your actions are all singing the same song, you build this unstoppable force. Momentum attracts the wins. Momentum attracts the growth. Momentum attracts the success. But it all kicked off with one decision. 1 second where you were like, nah, I ain't staying like this. And now you are building something way bigger than you ever dreamed. But keep this in mind, the climb never stops. There is always another tier, another hard thing, another roadblock, another version of you waiting to be unlocked. And then this is where being able to pivot becomes super important. 'Cause those same moves that got you shoe-hairy might not get you where you need to go. Next, to grow, you gotta evolve. You gotta ditch old habits, old routines, old ways of thinking. You gotta be down to switch up, learn, adjust, without ditching the main commitment you made to yourself. And that balance, most people totally mess that up. They either get stuck doing the same old crap, or they change direction too much without actually sticking to anything. But winners adapt without losing sight of the goal. They learn from everything that happened. They tweak how they do things. They upgrade their plan. But they tuna ditch the main vision, 'cause the vision is the anchor, you know. It keeps you steady when things get wild. It keeps you moving when the going gets tough. It reminds you why you started and why you gotta keep going. And when your vision is solid, your decisions get even sharper. 'Cause now you ain't just deciding for today. You are deciding for future you, the person you are turning into, the life you are actively making, the mark you are leaving behind, and legacy. Legacy is built by doing the same thing over and over. Not one massive choice, but like thousands of tiny ones every single day, picking discipline over chilling on the couch, picking focus over whatever distraction pops up, picking growth over staying stagnant. Again and again and again, until it just happens naturally, until it just too ready who you are. And once it sit hurry vati who you are, nothing can touch you, not messing up, not being scared, not getting told. No, 'cause those things don't call the shots anymore. They just become chapters in your story. Part of the trip, Part of the process that makes you tougher. And strength, real strength, ain't about never tripping. It is about standing back up every single time you do. Faster, stronger, more determined. With more focus. With more certainty. With more belief. 'Cause every hurdle you clear just proves the truth again. You can do this. Way more than you ever thought possible, but only if you keep making the choice. Only if you keep acting on it. Only if you keep moving forward without glancing back. 'Cause looking back just brings back that hesitation. And hesitation kills momentum. And momentum, that is the whole game. So protect that stuff. Feed it with action, with focus, with just relentlessly getting it done. 'Cause once you build momentum, your life hits fast. Fall forward. Stuff that used to take years starts happening in months. Things that felt impossible, they're real. 'Cause you ain't that same person anymore. You are sharper, stronger, faster with your calls. Rock solid in your commitment. And that is the difference maker. Not where you started from, but how you decided and how you kept deciding. Every day. No pause, no fear, no looking over your shoulder. So stand tall on your path. Trust the choices you make. Lean into the grind. And just keep moving. 'Cause that next version of you that you are chasing, they're already there. In your head. In your plan. In what you believe. And the only thing keeping you from them is whether you are willing to decide and never look back. So decide right now. Decide with power. Decide like you know it. Decide like your whole life rides on it. 'Cause mumhun. And once you do that, go without stopping, without wondering, without getting scared forward. Always forward. Like a natural force that can't be stopped. Like a brain that can't be tamed. Like a winner who has already made the call and refuses to funny ever. Look back. And right there in that nope, that totally firm, not going to look back vibe, you unlock something people search their whole lives for. Freedom. Not the kind you get with cash, McKay. Not the status kind. Nah, it is the kind where you are actually in charge of when you. 'Cause real talk, most people ain't controlled by the world outside, nah. They're controlled by their own heads. Controlled by being scared to mess up. Controlled by worrying what people think. Controlled by old memories. Controlled by stressing about what is next. They're stuck, not 'cause of their situation, but 'cause they're hesitating. And hesitation, that is a straight-up jail. Man, a jail where dreams just get put on the back burner. A jail where your potential just, goes to waste. A jail where you are only living life at, half volume. But the second you decide, like Friday if I decide, that you are done letting hesitation hold you down, whoosh, you break out. You step out of that mental box. And, you enter a whole new scene. A scene where what you do ain't based on fear, but on your point. A scene where your moves ain't stalled by what-ifs, but are pushed by what you believe. A scene where your life starts moving fast with a target, with some oomph on, 'cause speed, that is a weapon. Not just some reckless zooming, but smart, quick speed. The ability to spot a chance, trust that gut feeling, and just choosy go without thinking it to death. The ability to see when something fits your vision and jump on it before the fear even has time to show up. That is how the winners get their edge. It ain't 'cause they got extra time. It is 'cause they waste way less of it. They ain't just sitting around arguing about what to do for weeks, months, years. They just decide. And then they fix stuff as they roll, 'cause they get this one big thing. You don't need everything perfect to start. You need guts. And courage ain't about twit-tied knot to or being scared. It is deciding to move even when you're scared. Every time you act even when you feel fear, you make it weaker. Every time you pause, you make it stronger. So the choice is always yours. Feed your fear or starve it. Feed it with putting things off, with excuses, with can't make up, my mind syndrome. Or starve it with action, with showing up, with just constantly moving forward. 'Cause fear can't stick around in a mind that is fully committed. It only hangs out in the I dunno zone, and that I dunno zone vanishes the second you decide. That is why making a decision is power, like pure, undeniable power. It flips you from just reacting to actually making stuff happen, from being chill about it to being on purpose, from being stuck to being unstoppable. But there is another level deeper that most people never hit, and that is owning it, total ownership, where you stop blaming the world around you. You stop blaming other people, you stop blaming what happened before, and you take all the credit, good or bad, for everything. Your wins, your moves, your whole vibe, your future, because the minute you own it, excuses, gone. And when the excuses vanish, only one thing's left, doing the work, non-stop, steady, focused work, every day, every choice, every time you make a call, until success isn't just maybe, it is guaranteed. But that guaranteed status, it ain't built overnight. It is built by doing it over and over, by showing up when it sucks, by pushing when it feels weird, by keeping on when you think nothing's even working. Because most people bail too soon. They want results way too fast. They run out of patience. They stop believing. They start second-guessing the exact moves that could have changed everything if they'd just given them time. But winners know about timing. They know growth is invisible at first, like a seed buried deep, deep down. You don't see it popping up, but it is, day by day, under the dirt. Roots are forming. Strength is building up. Bases are getting set. And then, bam, one day it bursts through. And everyone sees it. Everyone says it happened night. But you know the real story. You know those days you showed up when no one was watching. You know those nights you kept going, when it felt totally pointless. You know those moments you picked discipline over being comfy. That is where it was built. That is where the real grind happened. And that is why you don't look back. Because looking back just reminds you how far you came. But it can also make you want to chill out. And you can't afford to cruise right now. Not now that you've got this flow going. Not now that you've built up that self-control. Not now that you are someone who can do great things, cause momentum. It is delicate. Man, gotta protect it. Gotta keep feeding it. Gotta keep it going. And the only way to keep it running is to keep deciding every day, no fails. Decide to show up. Decide to lock in. Decide to actually soar to. No matter what, no matter how you feel, no matter what pops up in your way, no matter how long it drags. Because the path to being awesome ain't a straight line. It is full of tough stuff, of getting knocked back, of unexpected turns. But none of that matters. If your decision stays the same, I am going to nail this. I am not stopping. I am keeping it moving. That decision, when you repeat it daily, becomes your actual life. And once it is your real life, nothing can mess with you. Not the hate, not screwing up, not the I don't know feeling. Because you ain't relying on stuff outside you anymore. You are leaning on that feeling inside. That certainty. And that inner certainty, it is unbreakable. It doesn't care what people say. It doesn't shrink when you hit a snag. It doesn't wobble over little failures. It just stands solid, strong, unmoving. Because it is built on decisions. Decisions you made when it was hard. Decisions you made when you weren't sure. Decisions you made when every fiber of you wanted to stop. But you chose to keep going. That is what makes you who you are. Not what happened before. Not your slip-ups. Not your situation, but your decisions. So if there is anything left, any hesitation, any doubt, any fear still holding you hostage, right now is the time to zap it. Not later, not next week, not when you magically feel ready. Now, because ready is BS. Action creates ready. Deciding creates clarity. Committing creates confidence. So step into it all the way completely. Don't hold back anything. Make the choice that changes sundry everything. The choice that draws a line between who you wary and who you are turning into. And once that line is drawn, do not cross back over it. Do not go checking on the past. Do not hang out with the old you. Leave that version behind totally. Cause that version of you, that guy doesn't exist anymore. You are different now. Tougher, faster at making calls, clearer in your focus, solid in your belief. You are leveling up, climbing, becoming something bigger. And as you keep going forward, with that fire, with that clear head, with that drive that won't quit, the world will catch up. Chances will line up. People will pick up on your vibe. Stuff will start shifting, not 'cause the world magically changed, but 'cause some of you did. And everything changed because of that. So keep rolling. Keep deciding. Keep digging deep with everything you got, 'cause there's no ceiling on what you can crush. When your decisions are strong, your focus is sharp, and you are absolutely committed, this is your moment. This is your time. This is your life, and it is going to be defined, not by what you wished for, but by what you decided. So decide. Like a winner, move like a winner. Think like a winner, and live like a winner who already made the choice. To climb, to dominate, to build, to become, and to never, ever, no matter what. Look back, and when you get to this point, when your choices aren't shaky anymore, when your commitment isn't up for debate, when your focus isn't all over the place, a zone where pressure doesn't crush you, it shows pressure doesn't make you weak. It exposes the weakness. It shows you who you really are when things ain't smooth, when the way forward is fuzzy, when you don't know the result. Most people crumble under pressure. They go back to old habits. They run back to what is easy. They start second-guessing everything, 'cause they can't handle it, but 'cause they never locked in a decision strong enough to keep them stacked. But you made that decision, and now pressure becomes your secret weapon. 'Cause while everyone else slows down, you speed up. While others pause to doubt, you just do the thing. While others waffle, you move. This is where the separation happens. Not at the start, but in the hard times. Anion can feel hyped when stuff is easy. Anion can jump in when everything's going right. But when it gets rough, when results don't show up right away, when roadblocks pop up out of nowhere, that is where real winners get forged. That is where your decision gets tested. And if your decision is weak, you'll fold. But if your decision is solid, you'll rise stronger than before, sharper than before, 'cause struggle ain't there to stop you. It is there to polish you up, to scrape away the junk, to force you to grow into the person your goals need you to be, 'cause your goals are demanding a different you, a more disciplined version, a more focused version, a more tough-it-out version, and you can't get to that version without being challenged. So stop fighting the hard stuff. Stop wishing the road was smoother, 'cause easy roads don't lead to awesome stuff. They lead to comfort, and comfort leads to just stalling out. And stalling out is the slow death of your potential. You weren't built to be comfy. You were built to grow, to expand, to evolve, and growth is uncomfortable. It stretches you. It tests you. It makes you face parts of yourself you'd rather ignore. But every time you deal with that discomfort and choose to keep moving anyway, you are leveling up. You are getting stronger. You are inching closer to the person you were supposed to become. And that person, they don't hesitate. They don't question. They don't look back, 'cause they know the past only has power. If you hand it power, your past screw-ups, your past losses, your past limits, they aren't chained. They are lessons. And lessons are meant to be surely used, not lugged around. So learn from them. Grab the wisdom and then ditch them, 'cause carrying your past into your future, it is just going to drag you down. And speed matters. Flow matters. Direction matters. Every second you spend looking back is a second you aren't moving ahead. And ahead is where everything you want is hanging out. Your wins, your growth, your change. It is all in front of you. But you gotta be willing to move toward it without pausing, without doubting, without clinging to what used to be. 'Cause what used to be doesn't matter now. What matters is what you are becoming right now, in this second, with this choice. 'Cause every moment gives you an option to move forward or stay the same, to grow or stay cozy, to decide or to waffle. And that choice, repeated over time, becomes your whole life. So choose smart. Choose power. Choose action. Choose growth. Again and again and again until it is just automatic. Until it is just who you are. And once it is who you are, nothing can stop you. 'Cause you ain't stuck depending on things around you anymore. You are driven by your mission. You are steered by your vision. You are fueled by this internal fire that just won't go out. And that fire It gets bigger every time you make a gutsy call. It gets hotter every time you push through resistance. It expands every time you refuse to tap out, until it is unstoppable, until it becomes the force pushing everything you do. And at that point, winning ain't something you chase anymore. It becomes something you sasana, because you ain't trying to get you successful anymore. You are acting like someone who already shoe-headed, and that shift, that identity switch changes everything. The way you think, the way you roll, how you deal with tough stuff. You stop reacting based on feelings and start answering strategically. You stop being scared of failure and start using it. You stop waiting for chances and start making them. Because that is what winners do. They don't wait for the right time. They twould become the right time. Through their decisions, through their moves, through their constant commitment to keep driving forward, no matter what. And as you keep on this road, as you keep deciding, keep doing, keep changing, you'll realize something huge. There is no finish line, no final stop where everything suddenly gets easy. There is just growth, constant, endless, limitless growth. And that is the cool part, 'cause it means you are never trapped. You are never done. You are always becoming tougher, becoming smarter, becoming more capable with every single choice you make. So dig the journey, dig the process, dig the challenges, because they're molding you into something rare, something wild, something unstoppable. And as you stand here right now, with everything you picked up, everything you figured out, everything you decided, there is only one thing left to do. Commit fully, completely. No second guessing, no doubt, no looking back. Because the second you fully commit, your life is never going to be the same, period. Doors going to swing open, paths going to show up, chances going to multiply. Not cause of luck, but cause things line up. Because you are finally moving the way you were meant to. With clarity, with purpose, with real power, and nothing, seriously nothing, can stop someone who has made that level of decision. So stand tall, stand firm, stand steady on your path, and move forward with the confidence of someone who already knows. Not maybe, not someday down the line, but it is happening because they decided, because they committed, because they refused to look back, and that refusal, that focus forward, with belief, it is what nails down who you are now. Not what happened before, not your fears, not your doubts, but your decisions. So make count every single one, and let them steer you, shape you, lift you up into the person you were always supposed to be. A person who acts, a person with discipline, a person with a will that can be broken, a person who doesn't wait, doesn't pause, doesn't retreat, a person who decides and moves and builds and rises again and again. No stop, no fear, no looking back, because that is who you are now, and that is who you are going to keep being for the rest of your life. And now, there is nothing left to explain. No more lectures, no more waiting around, no more just the truth, raw, straight up truth. You already know what you gotta do, that decision you've been dodging, that step you've been putting off, that version of yourself you've been holding captive. It is staring you right in the face. And deep down, you feel it. That tightness, that pull, that quiet voice, that won't shut up, that talk to. That is your potential, begging to get out. But potential means squat. Without a decision means nothing. Without action, that dreams mean zero. Without commitment, because the world doesn't hand out trophies for do something. It hands them out for it doing. It starts. The second you stop arguing with yourself. No more. I'll start tomorrow. Maybe. No more. I need more runway. No more. What if I bomb? Enough. You've asked those dumb questions long enough. Now it is time to answer them by moving. Because every second you spend questioning is a second you aren't building. Every moment you drag your feet is a moment you aren't becoming. And time, it doesn't slow down for indecision. It just moves relentlessly, non-stop. Doesn't care if you are ready or not. So if time is sprinting and life is zooming and the world is charging ahead, why are soon you frozen? Why are you waiting? Why are you holding back when everything inside you is screaming to go? This is your moment. Not because everything's perfect, but because you finally hit that point where staying the same just ain't okay anymore, where comfort feels like a tiny box, where being average feels like a heavy backpack, where doing nothing feels heavier than the fear. And that is where the big change kicks in. Not when things get easier, but when you decide you aren't staying put anymore, that decision. That line you draw. That moment you yell, "I've had it." That is where your new life begins. Not slowly, not someday, but instantly. Because the moment you decide, you switch gears. Your mindset shifts, your energy shifts, your focus shifts. You are not the same person anymore. And once that switch flips, there is no going back. Because you saw the real deal. You felt what you can actually do. You realized how capable you are. And once you know that, you can't unknow it. You can't go back to playing it small. You can't go back to doubting your own brain. You can't go back to living a life that is way under what you are capable of, because your standards have jumped up. And standards, they run the whole show. They decide what you let slide. They decide what you toss out. They decide how you show up every single day. And now your standard is crystal clear. No holding back, no excuses, no looking back, only forward, only growth, only constantly doing the work. Because that is what it takes. Not being perfect, but being consistent. Not luck, but discipline. Not natural talent, but decisions done every day. Again and again. Till they become son you. And once they become you. Winning ain't something new. It becomes something you do naturally, easily, because it is baked right into who you are and identity. That is the strongest power you got. It controls what you do, your habits, your results. So guard it, beef it up, feed it with decisions that match the best version of yourself every single day. Because every day, you are either making who you are stronger or you are drifting away from. There is no middle ground. There is no pause button. There is only getting better or sliding back. And you already decided you are moving forward, no matter what. No matter how hard it gets, no matter how long it drags, no matter how many times you stumble, you will get up, you will adjust, you will keep going, because that is what winners do. They don't stop, they don't retreat, they don't look back, they move with certainty, with direction, with belief that can't be shaken. And as you move, as you build, as you rise, you're going to start seeing it. The results, the progress, the transformation slow at first, almost hidden, and then suddenly unstoppable. Because success isn't one big moment. It is a stack-up, a result of thousands of decisions made right over and over, without pausing. And now you are on that track, not just thinking about it, not just planning for it, but living it, breathing it, doing it every single day. And that is what makes you different. Not where you started, not your outside stuff, but your decisions, your willingness to act. When others freeze up, your guts to move. When others waver, your self-control to keep going. When others quit, that is your power. And that power will take you further than you can even picture if you protect it, if you respect it, if you use it every single day. So stand in it right now, fully, completely, with no more hesitation, lingering, with no more doubt left over, with no clinging to the past. Because the past is done. It has zero hold on you now. The only thing real right now is your next decision and your next move and your next step forward. So take it without being scared, without messing around, without checking what is behind you. Because this is who you are now, someone who acts, someone who with discipline, someone who with unbreakable will, someone who decides and follows through.